In the words of that well-known song, girls just want to have fun. And what better way to bring a smile to a girl's face than a cold, crisp winter's day, a cluster of hot hatches and some fantastic roads. So what's in the pack? Well, no hot hatch test would be complete without the original. In the late 70s, VW squeezed a tuned 1.6 engine with fuel injection into their sensible family favourite, the Golf. It won the heart of everybody who drove it because it provided driving thrills without the financial spills. So is the Golf GTi still the hottest of the hatches? The first impressions are that the Golf has certainly grown up. It's traded in its trainers for a pair of push puppies. The handling feels smooth and sophisticated, as does the ride. It really doesn't have that in-your-face feeling that it used to do back in the 70s. Over the years, the steering too has evolved. It really no longer feels as tight and responsive as it used to do. Under the bonnet of this £18,000 GTi is a 1.8 turbo engine, producing 150 brake horsepower, a top speed of 135 miles per hour, and it'll get you from 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds. It does need the turbo. The 125 brake horsepower GTi would struggle to pull the skin off a rice pudding. So the Golf GTi has grown up and it's become a high-class car. But let's not forget that Volkswagen also owns Seat. And Seat make the car that is the undisputed king of the rallies. The car on which they've based this, the Cupra Sport. Very nice. And what about Peugeot, the company that gave us the 205 GTi, the only hot hatch to have had in the 80s? Well, they now give us the 306 Rallye. It's lightweight, it's stripped out, it's just perfect for having fun in. The only problem with these two contenders is deciding which one to drive first. Let's start with the Cupra Sport. This scorcher has a 2-litre 16-valve engine with very similar performance to the Golf. A top speed of 134 miles per hour, 150 bhp, 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds. Its performance may be similar to the Golf, but the price tag is quite a bit lower, coming in at £15,500. This car is boy racing at its very best. You get a good hard ride, fast, accurate steering, superb handling, and just enough understeer to put a smile on your face. Now, the only thing that lets this bundle of fun down for me is the gear change. It's a little bit too long and lethargic for a car like this. And I'm going to have to be a total girl here, I'm afraid. The dashboard on the front, which is straight out of the Polo, is a bit too dark and dreary. It could be a little bit more stylish. And last, but definitely not least, the 306 Rallye. Now, this little pocket rocket has absolutely blistering performance. 167 brake horsepower, a top speed of 137 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in 7.3 seconds. Yes, please. Driving this car is an absolute blast. It really urges you to push it further and further, and yes, it puts a real smile on your face. This is the kind of car that makes you choose the longest route possible for your journey, just so you can spend the maximum amount of time in it. Unfortunately, it's also the kind of car that puts you in danger of losing your driving licence through speeding. What Peugeot have done to make something this much fun is taken the 306 GTi 6 and stripped it right down. There's no electrics package, no air conditioning, no fancy door trims. What it all does is save an awful lot of weight. You get no frills, but you get plenty of thrills. The engine feels amazing. It pulls well up to 4,500 revs, but then it explodes up to 7,000 in a frantic scramble for the horizon. This is a car with no toys, but you don't need them, because this car is the toy. So is the Golf still the leader of the pack? Well, it's still in very good shape, although it's gone a little bit flabby around the middle. It's still an excellent car, but it's not quite as rock and roll as the other two. Having said that, though, I've got to point out that it's by far the most reliable and the best quality vehicle here. So what are the Cupra Sport? Well, girls do just want to have fun, and what better than this neat little package to have fun in? The only thing that lets the Cupra down is the gear change. So, the king is dead. long live the king. I hereby crown the 306 as the car most likely to satisfy a girl's needs. With a car like this in your life, who needs a man?